Okay, the pump is an Annovi Reverberi, an Italian design. I don't know if I pronounced that right. If I didn't, my apologies to the Italians. Anyway, I would assume this is supposed to be a good quality pump. I've had two problems with this. First of all, I retrofitted this. It had a thread-on adapter before, which was a pain in the ass to use, so I took this quick release and put that on. Got that from Northern Tool. Anyway, the first thing that happened is it used to clog up and it stopped working. You'd hear the engine building up pressure. And so I took this baby apart, and there's an O-ring in there, and what happened is the O-ring had shredded itself and become lodged. So it took me 2 or 3 times to get all those O-ring pieces out of there. The other day I just went to use this, and there was no pressure on it. So it turns out there's quite a few videos on these pumps on YouTube. That's how I got the hint. But there's a piece in here that which gets jammed. Sometimes it needs to be replaced, sometimes it doesn't. So I took this out and I lubed everything and put it back, and now it works great. I'll go ahead and take it apart just to show you. Okay, so we take this outlet part off here to show you where the O-ring snapped. The largest box I have on the metric is a 19, and it's not quite big enough. So it's probably a 20, 22. In every case we have to revert to the adjustable wrench, which I don't like doing, but say with me. And this is going to spin out of here pretty easy. Yours probably won't, because I lubed this up with this Sil Glide gel from Napa, which is also good for using on plumbing fixtures, like when you replace your fixtures inside of your faucets. That way, if you have like hard water, next time you go to take them off, they're not going to be all seized up. Anyway. You can see there's actually 3 O-rings, one on the tip, one here, and one here. I forget which one was shredded. I think it was this one. But I found something close, and it seems to be alright. This piece comes out. Make sure you put it back in the proper way. I took some of that silicone gel you see there and put it on the threads and on the O-rings. You don't want to block these holes. And then this baby spins very easy to go back in there. You almost take it all the way in by hand. And we'll just slug this up. Okay, this is the pressure setting, switch, control, valve, whatever for this particular pump. As you turn it clockwise, it'll generate more pressure, and counterclockwise, the opposite, of course. I think it's also called the unloader valve, or the unloader valve is in this assembly. In any case, sometimes that gets frozen and needs to be cleaned out and or replaced. And there's quite a few YouTube videos on how to do this, but every pump is different. Go ahead. This has already been taken care of, but I'll take it out and show you. And again, I've already had this part and put the silicone in there, so you see it's spinning out pretty easy by hand. But this piece here sometimes doesn't want to cooperate. And so what I did is disassembled this whole part here. Make sure you remember how the parts go back together. Spring. There's also a little piece on the end there. Fits in there. Then you can see that this basically pushes in and out. I took some of that silicone on there and just played with it for a few minutes until it seemed to loosen up a bit. I also took the silicone, put it on the threads and over the O-rings. Once again, make sure you don't obstruct these holes, orifices. And then I put some lube on the spring as well, so there's some down in the shaft there. And put it back the same way you found it. And put this baby back in. See how nice that goes in with the lube, the silicone on there. First time it came off, I had to use the wrench just about the whole way out. You don't have to put much torque on this side. Should be good. And in case you don't already know, when you start this, you want to make sure that your pressure is all the way off. And then bring the pressure on when you're ready. And also, before you shut the thing off, take and release the pressure the whole way. I think that might have been one of the problems. This might have not been released the last time it was parked. So my bad. And also, if you have this fully engaged, it's going to be really tough to start it. It's going to be all that pressure on the engine when you try to pull it. Alrighty. There you have it. Alright, let's go show you what this looks like if the thing's working properly. I'm not going to have the power hose on here for now. I just have the water hooked up. And the pressure relief is all the way off right now. Water's just going to come out there pretty lightly without the pressure all the way off. Of course, it's going to be high pressure, so make sure there's nobody standing back there. So if you turn the pressure up, you see the water pressure here increases quite a bit. That way you'll know the thing's working properly. Release it. So you can see as I was adjusting the pressure higher, the pressure out the outlet was getting higher. It's a quick way to test it. Of course, make sure there's nobody downstream here like your children or pets, since this is high pressure, and don't put your hand in front of it. Anyway, hope that saved you a few dollars at the repair shop.